Hey guys, it's Sean. So we have brisket here. I'm about to cut this up, but let's pause. I want to show you something real quick. This is what you try to perfect when you barbecue. This is what's called the bark. Now, the bark is this part right here, right? It's the outer covering. You want a pretty solid, I don't want to say unbreakable and indestructible covering, but you want to be able to see it when you cut it, right? It's supposed to be quite darker than your actual meat. So let's go ahead and get prepped up. Let's move the brisket over to the cutting board and we'll cut it into it, and I'll show you what the bark looks like when you cut it as opposed to it being on the outside. All right, so come on. Now, one thing that I suggest is they actually make them. They have basically brisket and carving barbecue knives, all right? Now, it looks kind of weird because it's rounded off at the tip, but this is a very sharp knife, so we're gonna use this to cut the brisket. Also, a small side note here, all right? This brisket has been cooking for hours. We're talking probably 10 plus hours, okay? So, one thing you need to note is that it's probably gonna be tender and it's gonna be hard to cut to get a perfect slab, all right? So, bear that in mind as you cut this. Okay. All right. Up. All right. So, we're gonna transfer this onto the cutting board now, and then I'm gonna slide this over and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, my suggestion is to be very careful with it because it's gonna be, like I said, very tender. So, right here, as you can see, I'm pushing a little bit against it. It's got a bit of resistance, right? That's what you call bark. Now, on the underside, look at this beautiful fatty part right here, right? You see that? How it kind of gives back? It's bouncy, okay? You want that. But the top part is what you call the bark. Okay. Now, I'm gonna put this over here, set that aside. Okay. Alright, so, as you can see, this is where we cut it, the flat part against the thick part on the brisket. Now, so you want to cut against it, so you're going to cut from here down to here, back. You understand? Okay, so let's show you what the burnt or what the brisket looks like after you have bark on it, okay? So, cut it a bit. And you want it about, do you guys remember your old elementary school erasers? That's what you want your brisket size to be. Okay. All right, so this is one of the pieces. Look at that. I'm gonna squeeze it just for the money shot. Okay, so you can see the fat that's right here that didn't quite render, but okay, do you see the bottom part right here? That's called the bark. The bark is the outer thick covering that was used when it was cooked, okay? The bark is one of, if not the best parts of barbecuing, all right? So, it's a pretty good looking prize piece. And see, if you guys can look at the bottom layer of it. You see that, how it goes all the way around? The bark is not just the top of it, it's the whole thing, right? Now, this is the meat, which was the correct color, but the outer cover is a very darker color. And that's all that bark is. It's just a very darkened covering after it's been cooking for a while. And you can achieve that if you cook it properly. You can actually kind of get away with it if you don't really know what you're doing. But, so, we're gonna keep cutting this. And I'm gonna hold it on this end so that it doesn't slide. And then just let the knife do the work. see? Now, because it's very tender, it's very hard to handle, but there you go. Okay. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. This is Bark on Barbecue with the ToGA brothers. Thank y'all for watching. I'm Sean. Take care.